that'll make it that much easier.
All right, everybody, we're on the losers finals, and Tipster is gonna go against MarkSDking.
To be a good one, and I think Battlefield actually probably one of the better stages that both of these guys could have hoped to get. Honestly, when you really think about just how the layout goes, and there's the projectile-based game, which we're going to see now. I noticed already Tipster trying to walk and work his way in early on, but do not allow yourself to get too comfortable. That's where MarkSDking can use those tools of Rob and just send you right back out.
By the way, a shout out to the Mom Smash track. That is an absolute slap on this soundtrack here. Early on, neither fighter with a huge advantage here, and it's Tipster versus MarkSDking. And right now, you see Tipster missing with that back air. MarkSDking trying to follow up, thrown out again a couple of those safe forward air approaches. And Vicky, those are some safe approaches for Rob. You're looking at how you can sort of take advantage of that neutral.
Yeah, using that very, rather quick move for Rob to try to approach in, but, you have Tipster at the same time having to be wary of the gyro, and he did have a good amount of stage control for the most part, but now reversing the situation, you have MarkSDking, who's been able to utilize these gyros and control the space mostly, where Tipster has had to be forced to respect that space.
MarkSDking trying to hold center stage, but it's Tipster that's able to knock them off the map. Recovery, that Robo Beam, though, Tipster going to eat all of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Again, stacking up the damage.
Oh, dang.
149. And look, Mega Man, he's a heavy boy, but even he will soon fall prey to it. Obviously, we've seen plenty of times Rob's so good at connecting those up airs, the back air, a multitude of ways to take the stock off right now.
There's the phone is ringing.
His stock is not protected by any
The phone is ringing in the background.
Tipster really unable to punish some of those ledge stratting opportunities here, Vicky, and that's something where we saw MarkSDking really struggle in the
Dang,
first matchup.
MarkSDking is getting stronger.
MarkSDking taking this first stock here, Vicky.
Yeah, MarkSDking being able to utilize the follow from that grab and finalizing that stock, but still Tipster was able to live for a while, and despite this lead that MarkSDking has, it's not
All
that
right,
far away
there's a
from
message
what Tipster
playing
can
in the
try to bring this
background.
back if MarkSDking does struggle to find his way back to the stage, and it happens to be so with Tipster now, only taking 10% in the second stock, almost at a dead even game here, Jordan.
Yeah, that down air hard knuckle going to close things out on that first stock for MarkSDking, and now both fighters into the second stock, and as we mentioned, it's a battle of the bots, and it's been relatively even so far. Nobody being really dominant, just finding those opportunities, if they present themselves, to go in and punish your opponents.
Yeah, I almost feel like there's not even as much of a kind of like healing each other out process as this is their first meeting, but they're just exchanging blows. Obviously, right now, Mark is getting the better of the situation, but it hasn't been anything where anyone seems like they're really holding too much back, right? It's just right out the gate. Just going to go ahead and exchange those blows. And the fact of the matter is, I think it really benefits Rob in the long run, because I think Rob has the better projectile game and the stronger combo tools as well when it really comes down to it.
Yeah, you mentioned those projectiles, and Vicky, Rob with the gyro and that Robo Beam, some faster, longer projectiles than Mega Man. Mega Man has the Metal Blade, the Leaf Shield, those pellets, but they're a little slow and they don't cover the entire map.
Yeah, that's why you see sometimes Tipster trying to jump in with the leaf shield instead, and because Rob is so big, he is susceptible to getting hit easier, but that's not always the case here. As you see Tipster trying to use the Metal Blade to try to close in this gap, and now using that leaf shield to keep MarkSDking by the ledge, but the gyro coming through, and the follow-up not connecting with Tipster.
Oh my God.
Utilize that up to being able to
keep colliding with each
MarkSDking
other.
kind of off guard at the same time and chasing him to the heavens. You see Tipster trying to fish out that up air.
Yeah, and that up tilt from Mega Man, one of those sneaky KO options, but down
Dang.
up air coming out from MarkSDking, a trademark combo for Rob.
Yeah, nothing sneaky about that. Just efficient and effective, which you just love, which Rob's just gonna love to take advantage of. Exploit anytime, and right there, you gotta give an assist to the gyro, and that allowing Mark to rack up even more damage. And just like that, if you blink, you might have missed it. 69% tacked on. Make it 79. I'm doing math right now, Jordan.
It's all good. Yeah, Vicky, MarkSDking getting his homework done before the weekend, because he's got a huge advantage with a stock lead as well, too. And that's what you're looking for to find the separation in this first game. It is all MarkSDking looking to close things out. Tipster trying to do their best, throwing an onslaught of projectiles. MarkSDking trying to recover.
Oh my gosh. A tiebreaker.
It was interesting to see Tipster kind of condition MarkSD to think that he was going to go for the back airs. I mean, Mega Man back air being so quick, it wasn't a bad idea, and it could have caught MarkSDking's jump, but instead MarkSD showed some respect, and Tipster, being able to see that fear in his eyes, he was able to use that smash attack to take out that stock, but taking so much percent already on his own, he needs to try to land here and not get hit by another one of these up airs that MarkSD has been able to utilize as an anti-air approach.
Oh!
MarkSDking right there. there.
Toss him.
How about that?
Toss him.
Avoiding the
You got tossed him to the air.
Tipster taking advantage of the neutral air, follows up with that up air to win this first game.
Yeah, I knew those platforms again were going to be huge in this, just in this bout, regardless of the fact. But I saw that he tried to go and just maybe take a little bit of a breather on that top platform, and Mark was just like, "Nope, I know where you're going." Back me down, and the up air was there waiting for him.
And Vicky, it seems like a common recipe for success, but it seems like if you're Tipster and using Mega Man, you have to get in close to MarkSDking and to be able to apply that pressure up close.
All right, round two.
Follow up with some efficient ledge trapping. You can't just let MarkSDking zone you out with that gyro and robo beam throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, he covered it already, basically, where, Rob has that advantage when it comes to that projectile state, and Mega Man kind of stutters behind, but MarkSD, the consistency that he's had versus Tipster, where Tipster now has had to kind of slow down his own pacing and trying to go for conditioning tools himself. Tipster's not out of this game yet, as you can see right here, with already a lead to open up with the percentage, but, Tipster now trying to respect MarkSD's space and trying to find a way to get in that opening that you were mentioning.
MarkSDking already at a bit of a disadvantage in this first stock. Tipster being a little bit more aggressive. Back throw followed by the Clash Bomber. That connects off stage. Metal Blade gets eaten by MarkSDking. And Mega Man can just sort of chip away at you with all these projectiles. It's not a big flashy hit, but eventually you take enough of these and you'll see your percentage start to really rack up.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you got pillars coming at you.
Punch him, MarkSDking.
Just start to kind of frustrate you mentally when you're just like, okay, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get my offense going, but he's keeping me at bay, and I'm just taking damage.
Throw him to the sky.
That's why one good thing about that battlefield layout in the previous game, it allowed Mark to get in more easily and kind of put Tipster in situations that he wanted it in. Right now, not necessarily the case.
There we go.
Point, okay? Because that was a crazy and well-timed up smash, just off the gyro connect as well.
And Tipster's up smash not enough to get the KO. Rob with just a few.
All right, MarkSDking got knocked out.
To kind of keep
Back.
the weight down at this point, but we are now once again even at this point here, Vicky, and you like what you're kind of seeing from Tipster. A bit of a change, a little bit more aggressive in-your-face play style is what you expected. That would be the adjustment in the second game.
And you can see now Tipster utilizing more of that lead shield, kind of sending Gyro back towards MarkSD, but with these follows from Mark, he's been able to take advantage of this percent lead, and Tipster finding his way back. You see him utilizing these succession of forward airs and trying to figure out a way to jump around MarkSD. I mean, you saw that MarkSD was actually awaiting the back airs when, Tipster was jumping around his personal space, but now Mark's struggling to get back to this ledge and struggling to find himself getting back to the advantage state. As you can see, Tipster now kind of eating out this game for himself.
Yeah, the Mega Buster is busy right now, because we just saw Mega Man throw out pellets, forward smashes, and metal blades to really keep MarkSDking in that disadvantage. And now, both fighters on that equal plane at this point. And we
Oh
see
no,
Tipster
you're gonna
really
get bombed.
operating well, in sort of that mid-range area where a lot of those slower projectiles can connect
push
on
back.
MarkSDking.
And I love how he is operating, because essentially he's just baiting Mark to make a play, trying to make a okay.
That was a close one.
Again, like every time a back air just ends up quelling and just ending all the momentum, but no.
Oh my.
The way of Mark, yes, just
Wow. Into the air again.
KO and just yet again imposing his will, but only for the moment at 135.
And Vicky, those down throws lead to so many KO confirmations for Rob, and that's what makes him such a dangerous fighter, because if they can get the robotic arms on you at a high percentage, it's basically stock food at that point. Tipster trying to hang tight on this final stock, but it is all MarkSDking, creating a little bit more real estate between the two of them now here.
Yeah, you see him racking up that rage as well, and you see him trying to utilize that, taking him close to that blast one with the side beat. MarkSD trying to expand on this lead as much as he can, and he knows Tipster could potentially get a little upset at the fact that that metal blade for his second stop.
Oh my god, that was a close one for Tipster.
So, trying to live in the mind of your opponents right here is also key, and Tipster at least maintaining the stage advantage, it's very doable for him, but he needs to find the stock immediately if he does want to make that climb.
Tipster taking quite a bit of damage. Another down throw, able to evade that to avoid an early KO. But MarkSDking.
Oh my god.
Do as Rob and stay alive. You'll go ahead.
All right, we have a tiebreaker. Let's see who's gonna win, either MarkSDking or Tipster.
Oh my goodness. Just the time is a little.
Oh yeah. Punch him in the air.
To that game will give MarkSDking the 2-0 victory. I mean, from start to finish, Jordan, you gotta admit, he just rushed him down. Took him to town, man. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Rob sending Mega Man back to Dr. Light for some repairs here, and we want to obviously thank Tipster for coming in and giving us a great show over a couple of matches. But as MarkSDking,
you played good, Tipster. You played good.
Now it looks like we'll have yet another Rob Ditto as Kira Flex and MarkSDking will face off once again. But what we saw was the adjustment from MarkSDking to create a little bit more space. And then when things got close, Vicky, I felt like MarkSDking did a great job of being able to get some of those grabs, which led into so many different combo conversions.
Yeah, he knew that Tipster really wanted to hold shield the same way that you had MarkSD hold his own shield against the projectiles. And, you know, when you're going for those empty hops, you're conditioning your opponent to hold shield a lot more often. And MarkSD took full advantage of, you know, gyro being a pressure tool in that equation and utilizing the grabs that Rob has to follow up into KO potential moves instead.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket here.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the camera and then head to the next video.
Your screen right now, and it is Kira Flex